Nobody cares about you, and at first that may sound harsh, even cold. But if you lean into it, you'll find that this truth is not a burden, it is freedom. The world is full of people who are wrapped up in their own battles, their own dreams, their own insecurities. Everyone you pass on the street, everyone you scroll past online, every person you briefly interact with is mostly concerned with themselves. They are thinking about their worries, their desires, their plans for tomorrow, their regrets from yesterday. And when you realize this, you stop carrying the weight of their opinions on your shoulders. You stop imagining that the world is scrutinizing your every move, waiting for you to fail, because in reality they're too caught up in their own lives to even notice. This truth frees you from the chains of expectation. How often have you hesitated to act because of the imagined eyes of others watching? How often have you avoided taking risks, starting projects, speaking your truth, or chasing your passion because of what you thought people might say? The idea that others are sitting in judgment is often an illusion of our own minds. Yes, people may make passing comments, but they quickly forget. They go back to worrying about their own lives. The reality is, the world is not thinking about you nearly as much as you believe. And when you finally let that sink in, you gain a kind of liberation that is priceless. This freedom means you can take action without waiting for approval. You can dress the way you want, pursue the career you dream of, take the risk that excites you, or start over after failure without shame, because nobody is keeping score. Everyone else is too busy keeping track of their own mistakes and trying to hide them. So why keep yourself trapped in a cage built from the fear of judgment that doesn't even exist? It also means you can fail without fear. You can fall flat on your face, make a mistake and stumble, and the truth is, the world will keep moving. People may glance, some may even laugh for a moment, but soon they return to their own problems. Failure is not the end. It's just a moment in your journey. And when you know that nobody is as invested in your failure as you are, you can fail, learn, and rise again without carrying shame that doesn't belong to you. This freedom allows you to define yourself on your own terms. Instead of living to meet the expectations of parents, peers, society, or strangers on the internet, you live for yourself. You write your own rules, set your own standards, and chase your own meaning. You no longer need to wear masks to be accepted, because you understand that acceptance from others is fleeting, but self-acceptance is enduring. And here's another layer to this truth. Realizing that nobody cares frees you to give more. When you are no longer consumed by how others see you, you have space to think about how you can contribute, how you can love, how you can serve. You give not to be noticed or applauded, but because giving becomes part of who you are. Paradoxically, when you stop caring about how others perceive you, you often begin to live in a way that inspires them more. So let this truth liberate you. Nobody cares about you the way you think they do. They're not plotting your downfall. They're not keeping track of your stumbles. They're not obsessed with your every move. They are focused on themselves. And that gives you the gift of freedom. The freedom to try, to fail, to grow, to rise, to chase your vision without apology. Once you stop waiting for the world's permission, you realize the only person who has to care enough is you. That's when you're unstoppable. Stop living for approval. It sounds simple, but for many, it's the hardest shift to make. From the moment we are children, we're conditioned to chase validation. A good grade earns a pat on the back, good behavior wins us praise, and even as adults the cycle continues. We seek likes on social media, recognition at work, and approval from family and friends. It feels comforting to be acknowledged, but when your life becomes driven by the constant hunger for someone else's stamp of approval, you lose yourself. You end up living someone else's version of your life instead of your own. The truth is, most people aren't waiting for you to succeed. They are not sitting there measuring your progress or plotting your greatness. They are caught in their own battles, struggling with their own insecurities, and chasing their own dreams. Realizing this can be liberating. It means you no longer have to perform for an invisible audience. You no longer have to exhaust yourself proving your worth to people who aren't even paying attention. This awareness breaks the chains of validation and opens the door to living authentically. When you live for approval, your decisions are no longer yours. You choose careers that look impressive, not ones that fulfill you. You post photos not because you enjoy the moment, but because you want others to envy it. You hold back opinions, dreams, and truths because you're afraid of being misunderstood or judged. Every step becomes a performance, and deep down it leaves you empty. But when you stop seeking approval, life begins to feel lighter. Suddenly you can breathe, because you're no longer weighed down by the pressure of constantly trying to be enough for someone else. Freedom comes when you realize that your worth isn't up for debate. It doesn't rise when someone praises you, and it doesn't fall when someone criticizes you. Worth is something you carry inside, rooted in who you are, not what people think of you. The people who applaud you today can be the same ones who criticize you tomorrow. That's the nature of human opinion. It's fickle, it changes with moods and moments. Building your life around such instability only guarantees insecurity, but building your life around your own principles, values, and vision makes you unshakable. The moment you stop living for approval, you reclaim your power. You start making choices based on what aligns with your heart and purpose. You start chasing dreams that matter to you, not dreams that look good to others. You stop holding yourself back out of fear and start moving boldly because you no longer need permission to shine. People may misunderstand you. They may even resist your growth, but you realize their understanding is not a requirement for your success. What's beautiful is that once you no longer crave approval, you naturally gain respect. People are drawn to authenticity. They admire those who walk their path unapologetically, who don't bend to every opinion or trend. The irony is that the more you let go of trying to please everyone, the more magnetic you become. Because confidence, not approval, is what truly inspires others. So stop living for approval. Stop shrinking yourself to fit into boxes others created. Stop delaying your dreams because you're waiting for someone to tell you it's okay. Nobody is waiting to give you the green light. That responsibility is yours. When you realize people aren't watching your every move, when you understand that their validation is neither the measure of your worth nor the key to your destiny, you are finally free. Free to live life on your own terms. Free to fail and rise again. Free to take risks, to stand out, to be different. Free to be you. And that kind of freedom is the only approval you will ever need. Self-care is your responsibility. Nobody else will ever care about your well-being, your growth, or your dreams as much as you do. That isn't a reason to feel bitter. It's a reason to feel empowered. Because if the responsibility is yours, then the control is yours too. Too often, people wait for someone else to save them, encourage them, or validate them. They wait for a friend to check in, a mentor to guide them, or a partner to motivate them. But the truth is, you cannot outsource your healing, your discipline, or your growth. It is on you to believe in yourself when nobody else does, to push yourself forward when the world seems indifferent, and to lift yourself up when you fall. Self-care isn't just about rest or relaxation. It's about taking full ownership of your life. It's the discipline to say no when something drains you. It's the courage to walk away from toxic environments. It's the awareness to protect your peace and energy, even if it disappoints others. It's also the commitment to your health, your routines, your mindset, and your habits. You are the one who has to decide what you consume, mentally, emotionally, and physically. You are the one who has to notice when you're slipping and pull yourself back on track. No one else is going to live in your body, think your thoughts, or fight your battles. That responsibility is yours alone. And while that may sound heavy, it's also the most empowering truth you can accept, because it means you never have to wait. You don't have to wait for someone to push you to the gym. You can push yourself. You don't have to wait for someone to remind you of your worth. You can remind yourself daily. You don't have to wait for someone to fix your life. You can start making changes today, one small action at a time. Every step of self-care you take is a message to yourself. I matter. My life matters. My dreams matter. When you neglect self-care, you silently tell yourself you're not worth the effort. But when you take responsibility, even in small ways, you build self-respect. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your belief in your own ability to grow. And belief is the fuel that carries you through the hardest seasons. Because when nobody else believes in you, your self-belief becomes your anchor. When nobody else pushes you, your own discipline becomes your engine. When nobody else lifts you, your resilience becomes your wings. This doesn't mean you must reject help or shut out love from others. Support is a gift, encouragement is valuable, but they are supplements, not substitutes. If they come, appreciate them. But if they don't, keep moving. Because at the end of the day, your life is in your hands. Your dreams won't chase themselves, your health won't maintain itself, and your peace won't protect itself. It all depends on what you are willing to do for yourself when no one is watching. So make self-care your highest responsibility. Guard your mind from negativity. Fuel your body with strength and create habits that build the future you want. Stand up for yourself even when it's uncomfortable. Rest when you need to, but don't confuse rest with giving up. Treat yourself with the same respect and care you keep wishing others would give you. Because when you do, you no longer wait for the world to validate you. You become your own source of strength, your own source of encouragement, your own foundation. At the core, self-care is not selfish, it's survival. It's self-respect. It's the recognition that you are the only person you are guaranteed to spend your entire life with. If nobody cares as much as you do, then it's up to you to take the lead. Believe in yourself, push yourself, lift yourself, and commit to yourself. Because the moment you take full responsibility, you step into real freedom. the freedom to build, to heal, to grow, and to become everything you were meant to be. Turn pain into power. Life will test you. Challenges will appear when you least expect them. People will judge you, misunderstand you, and sometimes even try to break you. But the truth is, pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. What you choose to do with the pain determines the direction of your life. You can let it crush you, or you can use it as fuel to rise higher. Every setback, every wound, every disappointment carries within it the seed of strength. If you choose to water that seed, you'll grow stronger, wiser, and more unshakable than before. When pain shows up, it's easy to fall into the trap of self-pity. It's tempting to ask, why me? But that mindset only chains you to the hurt. Power comes when you flip the question and ask, what can this teach me? Suddenly, pain transforms from an enemy into a teacher. Every betrayal teaches you who to trust. Every failure teaches you how to improve. Every heartbreak teaches you how to love yourself first. And every obstacle teaches you how much resilience you really have. Without pain, you would never discover the depth of your own strength. Pain also reveals your true character. Anybody can smile when life is easy. Anybody can act confident when everything is going their way. But when the storms come, that's when your real strength is tested. Will you give up and complain, or will you stand tall and use the storm to sharpen your endurance? True growth is born in adversity. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Muscles grow only after being torn down. And your spirit is no different. It expands when it's stretched, it strengthens when it's tested. Turning pain into power also means refusing to let judgment define you. People will always have something to say. Some will criticize, others will doubt, and many will secretly hope you fail. But you must learn to turn their words into fuel. Let doubt become the fire that drives you to prove yourself right. Let criticism sharpen your focus. Let rejection push you toward redirection. Instead of shrinking under judgment, stand taller because of it. Use it to carve out a stronger, bolder version of yourself. The key is perspective. Pain can either be the excuse you give for quitting, or the reason you give for fighting harder. You decide how the story is written. Some of the most powerful people in history rose from the deepest pain. They turned loss into wisdom, rejection into resilience, and failure into mastery. What looked like the end became the beginning of something far greater. And the same is true for you. Your pain is not the end of your story. It is the raw material from which your power is built. When you stop running from pain and start using it, everything changes. You no longer fear challenges because you know they are shaping you. You no longer break under judgment because you know it cannot define you. You no longer waste energy on excuses because you know excuses can't build the life you want. Instead, you channel every hurt, every tear, every setback into the fire that fuels your growth. So turn pain into power. Use it to fuel your vision, to strengthen your character, to sharpen your focus. Let it be the reason you rise when others quit. Let it be the energy that propels you past obstacles and the light that guides you through darkness. Challenges and judgment will come, but they are not there to stop you. They are there to shape you. Take the pain, embrace it, transform it, and build from it. Because the strongest version of you is waiting on the other side of what hurts. And when you finally step into that power, nothing will be able to stop you. Authenticity attracts the right people. In a world full of masks and performances, being genuine is rare, and rare is always valuable. When you decide to live with passion and integrity, you stop wasting energy pretending to be someone you're not. You stop bending yourself to fit into molds that were never designed for you. Instead, you stand firm in who you are, unapologetic about your truth, and that is where your power begins. Approval no longer becomes your driving force, because you realize that the right people don't need to be convinced. They are drawn to your authenticity naturally. Think about how much energy is wasted chasing validation. You edit yourself to sound more impressive, hide parts of your personality to fit in, or compromise your values so you don't offend anyone. At first it may feel like this wins you acceptance, but in reality, it only surrounds you with people who don't really know you, and they admire the mask, not the person behind it. And living like that leaves you empty, because deep down you know you're not being fully seen. Authenticity eliminates that emptiness. When you choose to live truthfully, you may lose some people, but you'll gain the right ones. The ones who connect with your essence, not your performance. Authenticity doesn't mean being perfect. It means being real. It's admitting when you're wrong, celebrating when you're right, and standing by your values even when they're unpopular. It's sharing your passion without fear of judgment and being consistent in your integrity. Whether anyone is watching or not, people can sense when you're genuine. They may not always agree with you, but they'll respect you. And respect born from authenticity is far more powerful than approval gained through pretending. The beauty of living authentically is that it frees you. You stop running in circles trying to keep up with shifting trends and fickle opinions. You stop second-guessing every move, wondering if others will accept it. Instead, you move with clarity and confidence because your choices come from alignment with your values, not from a desire to impress. And when you live like that, something magnetic happens. People are drawn to you, not because you're trying to attract them, but because truth always has a pull. Passion and integrity create a presence that cannot be faked. The right people will always be drawn to authenticity because it gives them permission to be authentic too. Your courage to live in your truth inspires others to drop their masks and embrace their own. This is how real connections are built, on honesty, shared values, and mutual respect, not on performance or pretense. And while it may mean you attract fewer people, the ones who stay will be the ones who truly matter. Living authentically also protects you from the exhaustion of constantly seeking approval. You no longer have to keep up appearances or stretch yourself to please everyone. Instead, you invest your time and energy in building a life that aligns with who you truly are. And as you walk that path, the right people will walk alongside you. People who appreciate your heart, support your vision, and respect your boundaries. So choose authenticity over approval. Choose passion over performance. Choose integrity over image. The world doesn't need another copy. It needs the real you. And the moment you show up as yourself, without apology or pretense, you'll notice something powerful. The wrong people will drift away, but the right ones will come closer. And those are the people who will not only walk with you, but will also help you rise higher. Authenticity attracts the right people because it creates trust, respect, and genuine connection. When you live with passion and integrity, you no longer have to chase anyone. Instead, you become a magnet, drawing in the relationships, opportunities, and experiences that are aligned with your truth. And that is where real freedom and fulfillment begin. Freedom creates fulfillment. Real freedom is not about escaping responsibilities or living without limits. It is about creating a life where your choices align with your values, your actions reflect your dreams, and your energy is invested in what truly matters. When you take ownership of your life, care for yourself, and commit to pursuing your vision, you unlock a deeper sense of joy and strength. Freedom is not simply the absence of control, it is the presence of purpose. And from purpose comes fulfillment. To be free, you first must take responsibility for yourself. No one else can fight your battles, heal your wounds, or walk your path for you. Self-care is not optional. It is the foundation of freedom. When you care for your body, protect your peace of mind, and nurture your spirit, you give yourself the strength to move boldly through life. Ignoring yourself, waiting for others to rescue you, or postponing your own healing only keeps you trapped. True freedom begins the moment you decide, I will take responsibility for me. That choice is where fulfillment is born. Pursuing your dreams is another expression of freedom. Many people live in cages built from fear, doubt, or the expectations of others. They silence their passions to fit in or settle for comfort instead of chasing what excites their soul. But freedom means daring to follow your calling, even when it's uncomfortable. It means saying yes to your dreams, even if others don't understand. When you take bold steps toward what you truly want, you awaken a sense of purpose that no amount of approval or security can replace. That purpose is what fuels fulfillment. It makes the struggle worth it, the sacrifice meaningful, and the journey powerful. Resilience is what allows freedom to last. Life will not hand you a perfect path. Challenges will come, setbacks will sting, and judgment will test you. But resilience turns obstacles into stepping stones. When you refuse to let failure define you, when you choose to rise after every fall, you protect your freedom. You stop being controlled by circumstances and start shaping them. Resilience reminds you that you are stronger than what tried to break you. And every time you bounce back, you add another layer of confidence to your foundation. This strength makes fulfillment sustainable because joy rooted in resilience cannot be stolen. When you live freely, caring for yourself, chasing your vision, and staying resilient, you experience a fulfillment that surface-level pleasures cannot match. You stop waiting for approval because your choices come from within. You stop chasing empty distractions because you know what truly matters. You stop fearing judgment because you trust yourself enough to walk your path. This creates joy not dependent on circumstances, strength that endures through storms, and a sense of purpose that carries you forward. Freedom creates fulfillment because it aligns your life with your truth. You no longer measure success by comparison, but by authenticity. You no longer live under pressure to impress, but with the peace of living on your own terms. This doesn't mean life becomes easy, but it does become meaningful. And meaning is the core of fulfillment. So choose freedom, freedom to believe in yourself, to care for yourself, to pursue what lights your soul, and to stand strong when tested. Choose freedom to be authentic, to live with passion, and to build a life that reflects who you truly are. Because in that freedom, you will find joy that lasts, strength that cannot be shaken, and fulfillment that no one can take away. Fulfillment doesn't come from chasing approval, avoiding pain, or waiting for someone else to rescue you. It comes from owning your life fully, caring for yourself, turning struggles into strength, and walking in authenticity. The world may not always notice, people may not always cheer, but you were never created to live for their validation. True freedom is living on your own terms, fueled by passion, guided by integrity, and strengthened through resilience. And when you embrace that freedom, you unlock the deepest joy, the strongest power, and the kind of fulfillment that nothing and no one can take away.